Well, the first question of this episode is this. Why do my clients' cuticles grow thicker during the winter? Are they doing that because of the cold weather? Probably the most misunderstood part of our nails are the cuticles. Some complain their cuticles are growing extra thick, but that really doesn't happen. They're just confusing the cuticle with the eponychium. The eponychium is living and can grow thicker, especially when it's cut or damaged. Here are some ways you can tell the difference between the eponychium and the cuticle, and this is important to know. The cuticle is attached directly to the nail plate. If what you're looking at is not a thin layer of tissue directly attached to the nail plate only, it's not the cuticle. The cuticle rides the nail plate and comes from underneath the eponychium. The eponychium is the living skin at the base of the nail. It extends back about 1/4 of an inch or 7 millimeters, approximately. Any skin that's attached to the eponychium is a part of the eponychium, and it is not the cuticle. If the skin is attached to both the nail plate and the eponychium, it's really just part of the eponychium, and it's not the cuticle. When the eponychium is cut or damaged, it will grow thicker to protect itself. This is not an overgrowth of the cuticle. It's an overgrowth of the eponychium. This happens for the same reason the foot grows a thicker callus when the skin is rubbed or pressure is put on it by the shoe. A callus will form. The cuticle will not grow back thicker when it's removed from the nail plate, nor will it grow thicker during cold seasons. The cuticle can't grow because it's dead tissue. It's shed from the living skin, and it rides the nail plate as the nail plate grows out. Why does it do this? It serves as a seal to prevent infectious organisms from getting underneath the skin or into the nail matrix area. The cuticle will not bleed when it's cut. It's dead, and it has no blood supply, since it's detached from the living skin and now attached to the nail plate instead. If the tissue bleeds when cut back too much, this is part of the eponychium and is not the cuticle. If the cuticle and the eponychium seem to merge together and become overgrown, this is usually because of damage or injury to the living eponychium. It's often a result of cutting, irritation, or allergic reaction. In these cases, when the nail professional trims off this so-called dry and crusty skin, this can make the eponychium grow back faster to protect itself from this injury. That's why the best solution is to not cut the client's skin. Instead, treat the hardened tissue with a high-quality nail oil, and do this daily. Also, performing a weekly hot oil treatment will help a lot. After 30 or 40 days, this dry, crusty-looking skin will begin to flake off, and eventually it will disappear to reveal the healthy tissue underneath. In short, don't cut to remove the hardened layer on the eponychium. That will just make matters worse. It's like a dog chasing its own tail. I'd also like to say something about the term pterygium. Contrary to what some teach, this is not another name for this dead tissue on the nail plate. Pterygium is a medical condition that occurs on different parts of the body, including the eyes and the fingernails. In general, this term is used to describe any wing-like triangular-shaped tissue on the neck, eyes, elbow, knees, ankles, or the fingers. It comes from the Greek word for wing, and it refers only to abnormal growths of skin that are stretched into a wing-like structure. It more often than not happens on eyeballs of people who are, well, it shouldn't, not more often than not, but it often can happen on eyeballs of people who are exposed to sunlight or lots of wind, which is why those who surf or fish on the ocean are sometimes affected. It can occur on the nail plate, but it's considered to be an abnormal medical condition, often caused by burns, serious injury or damage, and, of course, allergic reactions can as well. This is not new information. I've been teaching about this information for more than 20 years. And the major nail magazines have been writing about the pterygium and what it really is for more than 10 years. Unfortunately, some continue to teach that it's just another name for the cuticle, when clearly it's not. Cuticle tissue is normal, and it's not a growth, so it can't be considered pterygium. Those that continue to misuse this term are just creating confusion in this industry. I recommend that all educators and manufacturers discontinue using this term incorrectly to describe the cuticle. I recommend that nail professionals purchase products from nail companies that put correct education about nail anatomy at the top of their list. Companies that don't teach the facts about nail anatomy are also creating problems in this industry. It's time to move past the use of incorrect terminology and start teaching the importance of proper terminology when describing the parts of the nail. It's time for a change, and responsible companies and responsible manufacturers and responsible educators should lead the way. It's a new day, and we all should be doing our best to always use correct terminology when describing the natural nail.